Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about Smackdown August 27th, 2021 review. So I got a chance to watch Smackdown. I thought it was an okay show. I don't think it was great, especially the beginning of the show is fucking terrible. And what they did with Becky Lynch and Bianca Bel-Air, I thought that was absolute trash. I'll explain why once I get to that point, which is the very beginning of the show. There was no Brock Lesnar tonight. Roman Reigns had the ending segment, as usual, as he should, because he's the only fucking thing that seems to be important in WWE's eyes. And Finn Balor went ahead and cut in front of Brock Lesnar. Finn Balor is trying to challenge for the Universal Championship, as I predicted. He's a B-level talent compared to Brock Lesnar, and I'm not saying that because that's what I believe. That's the way WWE portrays Finn Balor to be. He's a B-level talent. So, have him at a B-level pay-per-view, right? Sure. Fuck WWE. Bottom line, the thing with Edge, he was on tonight. He actually cut a promo about his situation, beating Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Had a good match, probably the best match of the year out of WWE's wrestling standards, and was the best match on the card of SummerSlam. Seth Rollins, he went ahead and he said, I beat Seth Rollins, I moved past that, I'm putting that behind me, and now my focus is on the Universal Championship. Still, we keep revisiting Edge and Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Situation here, I honestly think Brock Lesnar should take some time off, wait until Survivor Series. I think we should get Edge and Roman Reigns at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view in front of a very large crowd. Give that the main event and basically be the secondary version of what WrestleMania should have been like with Edge and Roman Reigns, because I think Edge has proven to all people like myself and others who have said he was too old to be at WrestleMania one-on-one with Roman Reigns would have been a disaster, in which case he's definitely proved us wrong on that. Daniel Bryan, my opinion on that, with him being at WrestleMania, I think it would have worked if they built him up correctly. Would have been an important figure. They just kind of thrusted him right into that picture. And that's really where I think a lot of people were against the idea who wanted the Edge versus Roman Reigns match. Me, I didn't. I wanted Daniel Bryan added to it because it made a lot of sense. He was on his last hurrah, in which case now he's Bryan Danielson in AEW. But yeah, I think Edge Roman Reigns in front of a very large crowd in Saudi Arabia would be the proper way to go. I don't know how things are going to go with what's going on in Afghanistan with the Taliban. That stuff I heard is pretty fucking crazy. I know Afghanistan is in Saudi Arabia. They're two different places, but bottom line is you never know. That could leak over into Saudi Arabia. So I don't know if Vince McMahon cares about other people's lives or not, but if he doesn't, we definitely will find that out when we actually take place at the Crown Jewel show. So, whatever. It doesn't matter to me, because no matter what I say on here, it ain't going to change the fact of what Vince McMahon's going to do. I could bitch, moan, cry till the cows come home, and seriously want change. I'm not getting it. I know that. I got it. Boom. There you go. So, let's get right into the very beginning of the show. Oh yeah, forgot to mention another thing. Seth Rollins had his own segment. He said that he wanted to thank and congratulate Edge for his big accomplishment, beating Seth Rollins. He was very hesitant in thanking him and congratulating him on the match they had. He said that he would probably prefer being more like Edge. And he kind of had this fake look about him when he said all this shit. So I don't know where this is leading to. I don't know if we're getting another Edge versus Seth Rollins match for Extreme Rules, possibly. I have no idea. And to be quite frank with you, I really don't care. Bottom line, Edge won the fucking match. What the hell is there any more need for Seth Rollins and Edge to go at it? He made him tap out. That's all there is to it. Now, if you want to have an I Quit match and have Seth Rollins go over that way by having Edge say I quit, I mean, that's the only other thing I can think of that would make even any remote sense of them competing at Extreme Rules. So, there you go. Anyway, moving on here. Becky Lynch and Bianca Bel-Air started off the show. We had Becky Lynch come out to the ring, holding the belt high in the air, and was super excited, pretending she cares about the fans. As we all know from the dirt sheets, we constantly hear that she wants to become heel, and that's the purpose of her return. Okay, well, can someone please answer this question? What the fuck was she acting like a babyface the whole entire time until near the end, where she finally said no to Bianca Belair's request for a rematch for the championship? And it was a very weak no. It was fucking weak and pathetic. So let me just break it down for you. Becky Lynch comes out, she's talking about how she's happy about the win. She said that there's people that were upset with how she did it. She thought it was dirty. The fans thought it was dirty tactics and dirty way of doing things in order to get a championship opportunity. Suckered in, making her think that she was just going to shake her hand and wallops her in the face, and that's it. And she goes, "You think I'd apologize for that?" And, I'm not sorry for it. She came out and said she's not sorry for it. Some people would take that as her being a heel. I take her as being an anti-hero in the sense of, hey, it is what it is. I got to do what I got to do. I'm going to win this match. She won clean. She did not cheat. She shook her hand, then she walloped her in the fucking face, and then hit her with her Uranagi and won the match. She should have been able to kick out. That's the problem with that fucking match. There should have been a fucking dirty ending towards that match where Becky Lynch won the title. Like I said, full-length match, no 27 seconds, 26 seconds. It's pathetic. Really, it's fucking pathetic. So Bianca Belair comes out. She's twirling her hair around in a circle like she's fucking spinning rope. And she's going down the ring, skipping and acting like she's still the women's champion. This woman shouldn't be doing any of that. All that shit she normally does should have been strictly taken off. That should have been taken off immediately. She should have been stomping her feet all the way down that ramp into that ring and getting in that woman's face and saying, "Bitch, you went ahead and you fucking screwed me. Went ahead, you shook my hand and you whopped me in the mouth, knocked me unconscious, and then you fucking Uranagi me my ass on the fucking mat and pinned me? That's how you want to win championships? Under tactics? Being a little fucking coward? That's the kind of attitude she should have had." Then but she didn't do that. She just went ahead and she says, "I want a rematch. This is BS. What you did was BS." Whatever, That's what she was saying. And then all of a sudden, fucking Zelena Vega. Where does Zelena Vega come into this whole scenario? Zelena Vega hasn't won a single match since she's come back to professional wrestling in WWE. And I really need to stop calling WWE professional wrestling, because clearly they don't like the word wrestling, yet they got a fucking ring with people doing wrestling holds. Makes a lot of sense. Hypocritical if you really ask me. But whatever. So Zelena Vega comes down, she's shooting the shit about how she deserves a shot, and I'm saying, when have you won a fucking match since you returned back to WWE? Never. You haven't won a single fucking match. And if you have, you haven't won more matches than you lost. I'll tell you that much. Fucking pathetic. So then after that, she's requesting a title match. Carmella comes out with the fucking music, and she's trotting her way down the ring saying Becky Lynch should face the most beautiful woman in the whole WWE. I'm like, what? Motherfucker, you've gotten 3 opportunities against Bianca and you lost. You're gonna go ahead and challenge a woman who just beat the ex-champion in 26 seconds? You're gonna challenge her. Sure, that makes perfect sense. For a dummy, it does. Give me a fucking break with this shit. Get out of here. She shouldn't even been there. The only person I am okay with showing up at this segment was Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is the only other woman that belonged in this situation. But bottom line, even that, destroys the whole entire segment in a nutshell anyway. And the reason why is Liv Morgan has been off television since Money in the fucking Bank. She hasn't had a single match since the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which clearly I felt should have been her fucking opportunity to be the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. She should have won that fucking match because she was on a winning streak. She was red hot. She was doing what she had to do to get herself over. She was actually winning. They were making her look like she was a top contender to win that fucking briefcase. And who do they give? Nikki, almost a superhero, is almost a fucking loser, which she is. She ain't almost, she is a fucking loser. I mean, give me a fucking break. And I'm not saying Nikki Cross is a loser in my mind. Creatively, she's booked like a loser. That's it. Plain and simple. But, bottom line, there shouldn't have been no fucking Liv Morgan. There shouldn't have been any Carmellas. There shouldn't have been a fucking Zelena Vega showing up. The only people that should have been in this damn segment should have been Becky Lynch, Bianca Bel-Air. They talk it out. She says, I ain't giving you squat. And Bianca Bel-Air cracks her right in the fucking mouth, and we got a full-fledged brawl, and we got people separating these two women and having true fucking hatred between these two women. That's what we should have been seeing. Not this, nope, I'm not giving you a title shot, and then immediately after the segment's over with, we come back from commercial break, and they've made an announcement that Bianca Belair, Zelena Vega, Liv Morgan, and Carmella are all going to compete in a 4-way elimination matchup. Holy fuck, man. And what do we get? We get Bianca Belair winning anyway. So what was the fucking point outside of wasting airtime and contributing to a long, drawn-out match to ultimately crown the number 1 contender who is already, in everyone's eyes, is the number 1 contender? I mean, outside of Liv Morgan, those 2 other women haven't done jack shit. They've lost. Carmella and Zelena Vega, they ain't shit. And why they were tied with Sasha Banks really fucking pisses me off and makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, that's what you got. So you get that fucking bullshit match. Whoop-de-freaky-doo. Wow. Like, who gives a shit, man? This is where the show sucked. Now, the show does get a little bit better. You won't believe I actually am saying this. The show got a little bit better. So immediately following the match, Paul Heyman is sitting outside, getting ready to go inside the Bloodline Tribal Chief locker room. By the way, they started wearing some new Bloodline t-shirts, which I'm actually kind of interested in purchasing. Shows the WWE Universal Championship and the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles all on a table in the very front of the picture of the shirt. And then in the background, you got Paul Heyman, the Usos, and Roman Reigns right in the middle of all of it in the picture, sitting there looking fucking cool as shit. I actually like that fucking t-shirt. Really nice stuff there. Good design. It doesn't look like those typical shirts where they got writing on them. It's an actual picture of the faction together in a really cool way, like they're mafiosos, man. I thought that whole entire shirt idea looked great. I think it's a fantastic shirt. It looks cool. It doesn't look pathetic. It doesn't make you feel ashamed of being a WWE fan, especially if you're a fan of Roman Reigns' heel run. It looks cool as shit. So if I was a person that wanted to buy that merchandise, I would definitely do so. Whether I hate WWE or not, I'm coming out here on this video saying to you guys, I would actually buy that shirt if I have the money for it. And I probably will at some point. So, yeah. Alright, so yeah, Paul Heyman's going ahead. He's trying to get inside the locker room. And unfortunately, the door is locked. The door is fucking locked. He can't even get inside the locker room. He thinks that Roman Reigns has locked him out. There's some suspicion that Paul Heyman's aligned with Brock Lesnar, and this is all set up for Brock Lesnar to take the title off of Roman Reigns by Paul Heyman screwing him and going back to his former client, Brock Lesnar. There's been rumors going on that that's a possibility of taking place. Now, if the WWE is taking those rumors and trying to swerve people with that idea, that's a very smart idea by WWE. I actually like it. Now, I would like them to have that idea that Paul Heyman's is possibly reverting back to his old client, but ultimately still stays with Roman Reigns to swerve the fans. If they do that, that's the right move to go with. I like that. I think that's really cool shit. And it's definitely different. So, that's pretty much what happened there. He gets a interview with Kayla Braxton. And he's still standing there and he's waiting to get inside the locker room, but he can't. And that was pretty much what took place. The Usos came out and told him why they didn't let him in. And they said, hey, man, who's to say that you ain't in line with Brock Lesnar? And Paul Heyman's trying to explain himself, but he's worried that these two guys really think he's going up against Roman Reigns and the bloodline. And that's, truthfully, I don't think that is his true intentions. For the first time in his whole entire character, I think the character that he's portraying is trying to tell the truth and be honest with these guys, but yet Paul Heyman's history of being a liar and a conniving thief is coming to haunt him in this sense, which is a very great storytelling situation. Too bad WWE doesn't do that with other fucking programs on their show. Again, why isn't Paul Heyman the creative executive of WWE's bookings? He has smarter ideas. He's making Roman Reigns look like $1 million man. He's making him look fucking amazing, like a freaking god of professional wrestling. Even though I shouldn't say that. A god of sports entertainment. Excuse me, let me correct myself. But, bottom line, Paul Heyman is being made to look like he's gonna cross the tribal chief, but in reality, I don't believe he's going to. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. It would ruin Roman Reigns' character. People would even hate WWE even more, and it would be the wrong way to book the fucking shit. So, let's get real, guys. I honestly like the little twist that they're doing here. But if they go full-fledged and they have Paul Heyman do like a Brock Lesnar turn on Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman went with the Big Show type of thing, and they do that with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns this time, I will be pissed. I will not like that. Chad Gable went up against Cesaro. This match ended up being a disqualification. Cesaro was about to do the Cesaro swing, and unfortunately, that was stopped by Otis. Otis looked pretty badass. I gotta say, if you get him away from Chad Gable, give him a more tough guy look with his attire, in-ring wrestling attire, he wouldn't look that fucking bad. He looks like a Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, I'm not saying he looks exactly like Bam Bam, but he has the kind of traits of a Bam Bam Bigelow based on his stature, his the way he just acts, you know? I mean, it's not like 100% Bam Bam Bigelow. I don't think anyone could be exactly like Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow is a fucking tough New Jersey asshole, you know? But bottom line, I think they would be able to get away with Otis being on his own. Now, granted, I think that would hurt the tag team division, And I wish they'd start utilizing both of these guys in the tag team division and give them a run with the tag team titles. But are we going to see that? Probably not. So whatever. Alright, so we go ahead and we have Kayla Braxton in the parking lot. This is totally a new scene. We haven't seen something like this since back in the Ruthless Aggression era. I mean, we haven't seen that shit in a long time. Them being in the parking lot waiting for an arrival of Brock Lesnar. And then comes Corbin. Baron Corbin. Now he's being called Happy Corbin because he managed to gain some luck in Las Vegas, Nevada, and gamble some money that he had left and turn it into humongous amounts of money. Gee, dumbass, why didn't you just go to a casino to begin with if you're so damn good at, gambling, and just gambled your fucking money? I mean, you had nothing else to lose. You were losing everything anyway. Just gamble your fucking money. This is a stupid fucking concept, an altered change to the character, still being the King Corbin character without the crown, and that's all we got here. Now he's wearing some fancy hat and a fucking suit. He's walking around praising and thanking God that he's a fucking rich guy again and making money the most important thing, teaching human beings the horrible fucking values that we shouldn't care about, yet we have to because we have no choice, but yet to make money being the most important thing of all things of life, and making... And later on in the show, you got Baron Corbin coming out and saying his wife came back to him because he got more money. I went ahead and I saw this and I said, Corbin, you better get a different wife. She's a piece of shit. Why would you want someone like that being around you just because you lost your fortune? That's a loser. That's a fucking gold digger. Who the hell needs that for a wife? I'd get a fucking divorce while I was broke so she can't take any other shit from me. But that's a gold digger, man. And they're portraying that it's good to have a wife being that way. This is Vincent Mann's values, folks. Vincent Mann's way of values, moral values to us Americans in the United States and anyone else who watches this fucking show. Good stuff, Vince. Good stuff. Teaching those youngsters real important things about life, right? You fucking asshole. Money ain't everything, folks. Just remember that. It's important to have money so you don't have to stress over the financial things of paying your shit to keep a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food in your stomach. But when you make it the end-all, be-all thing of your life, you got a serious fucking problem. So that's just my attitude on money. I think it's crap, but it's something we have to have because the higher-ups in the world have made it that way long before any of us have been alive. So it's something we got to deal with, but it's not something I like. Let me just put it that way. So anyway, yeah, Corbin shows up in a fucking Bentley. What the fucked up part about the whole Baron Corbin thing is, the guy is working for WWE. Why would he even go broke at all? Period. Like, why would he even go broke? It makes no sense. So, Big E shows up during this promo, during Corbin's promo, and Big E is asked by Corbin, how about I give you $10,000 for that briefcase? He goes, no, I don't want to do that. He goes, okay, I'll raise it. I'll raise it to $20,000. How about that? Would you do it? He goes, no, I don't want to give you the damn briefcase for $20,000. Okay, you know what? I'll even raise it to a higher amount. More than $20,000 or $10,000. How about I raise it to $100,000? And Big E's kind of acting like he's contemplating on it, and he just looks at him and goes, yeah, I mean, my kid needs braces, I got some things I need to pay for, blah, 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 some kind of shit, not word for word what I'm saying here, but you get my drift. And he looks at him and goes, but at this point, no, I don't want to play this stupid game with you. I'm not giving you this briefcase for any fucking money in the world. You stole the damn briefcase from me. And he said, why should I even give you the damn briefcase? And Baron Corbin looked at him and he says, well, I'm saving you from the heartache of you possibly losing and not being able to successfully cash in for the Universal or WWE Championship. And instead, in return, you're getting a nice chunk of money. Wouldn't that mean something more to you than possibility of failure? And this was actually kind of a cool little moral kind of story they were trying to tell here. The whole point of this thing that they're doing here is don't ever sell something, or if you have the opportunity to do something where there's a possibility of failure, don't fear failure in return of getting money so you don't have to deal with failure. For example, being part of WWE, you have a guaranteed shot of making money as long as they want you. Now, the truth of the reality is, you don't want to work for WWE because they don't give you anything in return. They don't allow you to be yourself. They don't allow you to have any creativity of the character you're trying to portray on TV. You are controlled, but guaranteed. You're secured. You got money. There you go. Take it or don't have it. Take a risk on yourself. This situation is basically saying you should take a risk on yourself and not have the guaranteed money coming to you. I don't understand why Vince McMahon doesn't do the things he used to do back in the day. Why he has to control every little aspect of what these fucking people do. The only control he should have is who he wants to push. Not controlling their promos, their gimmicks, and who the fuck they need to be. Let them do that. That's their job. Your job is just to book the matches and put it in the direction that you want the storylines to go. That's it. Plain and simple. But no, he can't do that. He's got to have his hands on every little thing that takes place within WWE. So, fuck them, man. They're shit. I just cover it because people watch the videos, people are interested, and that's where the views come in. People want to hear me talk about this shit because it's a very popular promotion. It's been around for a very long time. So I understand that. That's why I do these fucking damn videos, no matter how crappy they are and no matter how angry I get. The only show I won't ever cover on this channel is Monday Night Raw. That is the god-awful worst fucking television show I have ever seen in my fucking life. I'd rather watch the Jersey Shore than watch that shit. Than watch Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry. And yes, folks, I don't like the Jersey Shore. It's fucking ridiculous. It's crappy reality TV. It's all bullshit anyway. Just like WWE. Anyway, I already talked about the Edge and Seth Rollins stuff. Roman Reigns arrives and Paul Heyman looks nervous, not even opening the door for him. And Heyman refers to him as my tribal chief. Twice in a row to make up for it. Roman Reigns is a little befuddled. He feels that Paul Heyman's got nothing up his sleeve. But his two cousins, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, they both feel that he's got something going or cooking up with Brock Lesnar to ultimately screw Roman Reigns out of the championship. Folks, if Roman Reigns gets screwed by turning him heel with Brock Lesnar, or turning him face by Brock Lesnar screwing him out of the title with Paul Heyman, I am not watching this fucking program. I'm already scared bad enough about Bobby Lashley losing the damn title to Goldberg at fucking Crown Jewel in October. So there's a lot of shit going on here that I'm a little concerned with, and the 2 world championships on both shows is the major issue. The rest of it, it's whatever, you know? But whatever, I don't care. This is just god-awful programming. Anyway, I mean, not saying that this show is all that bad. Outside of the beginning of the show, I didn't really have a major issue with this show. This was not too bad. Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler went up against Rick Boogs and Nakamura. This was a good match. Rick Boogs isn't that bad in the ring, but I prefer him more of the manager of Nakamura, doing the guitar playing and all that stuff. But as a, a one night type of thing, what he did here, he didn't do a bad job. I actually liked what he had to offer in this match. He did pretty decent. If you really wanted to go further with this, you could make them a tag team. But, again, where's the explanation why Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura are together? There is no fucking explanation. They just happen to appear together on one episode of Smackdown, and poof, there you go, they're together. Well, why? Was there any kind of explanation why? Did Rick Boogs likes Nakamura for his personality? They have similar interests in beers? Do they have similar interests in the same kind of clothing? Do they like fucking each other's wives? What the hell is this shit? I mean, I don't know, man. Not that I condone, being a swinger with your swapping wives and shit like that. That's kind of sick. But bottom line, guys, I mean, like, what the hell is this, man? Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. They have great chemistry, yet they don't give an explanation to why they're together. I haven't heard a fucking, like a Caleb Braxton backstage asking Nakamura and Rick Boogs. So what brought you two together? What is making you guys like a team? Like what makes you guys tick together? Why did you guys choose to align yourselves with one another? None of that shit was ever mentioned. None of that shit was ever asked. Like, why don't they ask that kind of question? They don't, because they don't give a fuck. That's all, plain and simple, folks. It's that fucking simple. Yeah, I'm saying positive things about this, yet I'm still complaining about the fucking show because there are things missing that's illogical. It's that fucking simple. But yes, Rick Boogs and Nakamura have won the match. Sorry if that came across really bad with the Nakamura stuff, but whatever. But yeah. Rick Boogs actually wins the match with a pump handle slam to Dolph Ziggler for a 1-2-3. Oh boy, Dolph Ziggler, I feel so bad for him. He could do so much for this fucking company, and yet they treat him like a second-class citizen. Bobby Roode's another one, and his best days was in NXT and TNA. Bottom line. WWE, man, on the main roster, he's like a fucking afterthought. Actually, he's not even an afterthought. He's a nothing. Like, nobody fucking even acknowledges this guy's existence outside of the fact that he's teamed with Dolph Ziggler. What a joke. I'll tell you, folks, I really don't understand this fucking company. But then again, like I've said, why should we take this shit seriously? There's no reason to. It's just upsetting and annoying. I just do it for fun. I mean, like I said before, it was fun. It's fun to make fun of this shit company, and that's all there is to it. Now, there's one spot on the show that I will debate whether or not it was good. Naomi shows up on Smackdown. Now, from what I believe, I thought Naomi was on Monday Night Raw, competing in matches, and losing to Natalya and her partner, and so forth. And Naomi comes in to see Sonya Deville, who had no idea she was coming. Sonya has nothing for her to do, but they'll do something next week. Naomi isn't happy at this point. Well, this sounds very familiar in real life situations with what these wrestlers deal with on a day-to-day basis with WWE. Hey, you're not important. We got nothing for you yet. So go home, sit on your ass, collect a paycheck, and thank God you have an income. That's it. No creativity, no nothing. They don't even make... You know the funny thing, and I've said this many a times before. AEW makes dark seem important. They show the highlights of the matches. They do some storyline building on those dark shows. From what I've heard, I mean, they had Kenny Omega on there even, doing a hype up for a match that they had that I missed. I mean, they have the ability to provide in those 1 hour shows with main event, whatever they call it now, main event, superstars, who gives a shit? They have the ability to help hype up those characters on that show, build storylines with those characters, and then eventually move them up to the main roster to make them even more important. You would think they would do that, but ultimately that's not what they do. They just leave them there in fucking main event and not elevate them in any way, shape, or form. I mean, listen, I've heard this countless times. Vince McMahon doesn't want to build new stars because he's worried they're going to get all fucking big in the head and want to move on to other things. Well, I'm sorry to say, Vincey, they're not going to stand around and wrestle for you till they're dead like Ric Flair, okay? And you won't even let Ric Flair wrestle, and he's 72 years old, and he's all hyped and prepped and ready to go, and he wants to get inside of a wrestling ring at 72 fucking years old, or whatever freaking age. I know he's in his 70s, and he wants to wrestle. You won't let him do that, but you expect other wrestlers to wrestle until they're in their late 40s, early 50s. I mean, fucking you got Bill Goldberg wrestling. Brock Lesnar's in his mid-40s. He doesn't hardly do shit in these matches except for German suplexes and F5s. He ain't no different than a fucking Goldberg, to be quite frank with you. We all know he can do a hell of a lot more wrestling moves than that. And yet, they don't have him doing any variations of moves in the matches at all, except for a German suplex and a fucking F5. And once in a blue moon, a Kimura lock if he really needs to get the match to a point where he can make his opponent give up and surrender the match altogether. But we don't even see that hardly anymore. So who gives a shit? Like, what does it fucking matter to me? You know? But whatever. I found this to be really disgusting. Naomi really needs to be part of the bloodline. She needs to move in with the Usos, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman, become that female character within that faction and help her get over and become a SmackDown Women's Champion. That's the way I feel on that one. Next, we had Rey Mysterio talking to Dominic Mysterio about wrestling without Rey Mysterio by his side to compete against a mystery opponent. This was a little bit interesting. I read an article on NoDQ.com where Rey Mysterio was asked would he ever wrestle his son in the middle of the ring. He said, no, I wouldn't. I don't want to wrestle my son. I don't want to have to compete one-on-one with my son and us hurting each other and doing shit like that. Well, apparently it doesn't matter what you say, Ray, because WWE wants you two to fucking tear each other apart. Because they got these two people having some conflict with one another. Dominic Mysterio is a little confused on why his father is not coming out there with him. As if Rey Mysterio is trying to take the training wheels off the little bastard and say, hey, get your fucking ass in there and prove that you're a professional wrestler. Oh, wait, I said the wrong word. Not professional wrestler. You're a sports entertainer. Please, get Ray, please. I'm talking to you, Ray. If you ever hear this video, which you probably won't, because I'm a small-ass motherfucking channel, and that's all right. I can deal with it. But, bottom line, Ray, if you ever do come across this video, do yourself a favor. Get away from WWE. You are a professional wrestler. Go be with the Lucha Brothers, man. Go be with Andrade. You are a professional wrestler. You are not some fucking circus clown running around with polka dot clothing and looking like a fucking dumbass. Rey Mysterio is probably the greatest small wrestler in professional wrestling history. Alright? That is all there needs to be said about Rey Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio has a future in pro wrestling. But This shit, what they're doing is fucking ridiculous. They're making Dominic Mysterio look like a fucking child. Like, oh, please, Daddy, hold my hand. I want you by my side while I wrestle somebody. Please help me. Oh, I'm so pathetic. Come on, give this kid some fucking confidence. He's questioning his dad. Oh, really? You always by my side? What does that mean? You're not gonna come down to the ring and watch me wrestle? Oh no! Wait, this is sports entertainment! Holy shit! It's so confusing! I mean, like, come on, man! What is this fucking retarded shit? Oh my god! Got Dominic Mysterio questioning whether or not his dad really cares about him at this point. That's what they're trying to do here. And Rey Mysterio is trying to be the tough dad and show him some tough love by saying, hey, son, it's time to take the training wheels off and throw your ass in the fucking ring and let's see what you can do without my damn help. Like, come on, man. This should have been going on from day one. After the Seth Rollins situation, that should have been it from last year. That's all we should have known from this. It should have been done and over with after that. This is retarded. But yeah, Dominic Mysterio loses to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes back, and he loses to Sami Zayn. Wow. What a joke. Immediately following that is the Bloodline with the fucking promo hyping up about how they won all their championships, retained them at SummerSlam in the biggest party of the year. Yeah, right. Biggest party. How about the biggest sleep? The biggest bore? The biggest disappointment? How about that? This show sucks. Even when I'm trying to be positive, trying to project positivity with this show, they always seem to drag me down no matter what. I always get that fucking negative feeling from these assholes that make me feel like I shouldn't give a flying shit. And honestly, I don't. I really fucking don't, man. Everything they do that they could make positive, they turn into a negative, even when they're doing it good. They're fucking shit, man. Because it's just, you know, history of what they've been doing for the last 10 years, man. They're fucking shit. Anyway, yeah, the whole thing was about that. They're celebrating the big defeat of John Cena. They don't have to see John Cena anymore. He's been defeated. Blah, blah, blah. And that's that. Finn Balor shows up, like I said earlier in the video. He's cutting in front of Brock Lesnar. He wants the shot for the Universal Championship, and he wants it next week on Smackdown. And there was no mention or, you know, answering the challenge of Finn Balor. And Finn Balor just attacked Roman Reigns. The Usos tried to get involved. The Street Profits showed up. They tried to defend Finn Balor. And one of the Usos got hit with a coup de grace. And that was the end of the show. Roman Reigns is, you know, constantly lately just running away with his cousins getting their asses kicked. And he's looking like the pathetic heel who can't fight back. Like he's scared or worried. Like he's worried about Roman Reigns is worried about Finn Balor. What the fuck? Finn Balor is lucky he even has got a spot on this show. The fucking sorry son of a bitch can't even keep his contract signing with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. He gets fucked out of it, doesn't show up, doesn't face John Cena for a #1 contendership match, doesn't complain about it or say a fucking word, and then he shows up and he says, I'm cutting in line, I'm gonna challenge you for next week on Smackdown. Fuck, wait until Extreme Rules. Oh my god, this shit is giving me a headache. Anyway, guys, literally, I'm getting a headache from talking about this shit. So anyway, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.